We have a couple of panelists who are going to come with us, join us on stage to ask some questions. So we have Barbara, Andrea, and Dasha. Please come join us on stage. And just like we talked about before, there are so many startups that lack that internal champion who really understands the industry. So our goal is to get a number of people who have spent their careers working in travel to come join us and to ask each of our founders a couple of questions from their perspective as an industry player. And we're going to have Grace.
So it's really nice to meet you all. I'm Grace, the founder of Lucia. Just to give you a little background before I dig into everything, Lucia is a freelancer marketplace for luxury travel. I'll dig into a little bit about myself, but this is probably something that any travel advisors in the room, tour operators, etc., this one might be something that you might actually be able to use now. So like I said, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm from New York myself. I started as a travel advisor, though, while in college. Me and my co-founder, who's somewhere, there she is, in the room. We went to Cornell together and actually started working as a travel agent with Virtuoso. So did that for about 3 years while in college. And then my co-founder and I actually started a company called TripKit. So if you've used TripKit before, that was us. And that was a company that was doing assistant work for travel advisors. We recently actually exited that company because we saw opportunity in what we now call Lucia. And I'm happy to share a little bit more about that today with you. And really important information that you need to know about me is I prefer an aisle seat, and you can find me in the LaGuardia Delta Lounge at any time should you need to contact me. Now, for any advisors in the room, any tour operators in the room, anyone that is running a travel business, one of the hardest themes that we've heard today is that it's really hard to scale on this side of the industry. It's really easy for a travel fintech company to come into this room and to talk about all the amazing ways that they can grow. But what about us? What about the travel industry that's doing this part of the work? That's where we come in. There are currently about 20,000 Virtuoso travel advisors out there, about 130,000 of them worldwide. And a lot of travel advisors have said that they've grown in the past year. A lot have said overwhelmingly so, to the point where they had to turn away a lot of business this summer. If you did that, I see a lot of heads shaking. Yeah, if you turned away business this summer, that was what we were working on pretty much all summer, is fixing that problem for you, because we don't see it as something that's going away. We actually seen it across not just travel advisors, but tour operators, hotels, private aviation. If anyone tried to book a plane this summer, it was almost impossible. But another trend as well is that gig economy work is growing. I mean, now everyone talks about how hard it is to find a housekeeper to work at a hotel, how hard it is, my family owns a florist, how hard it is to get someone to come work at our florist full time. But if you want an Uber driver, a DoorDash driver, someone doing gig economy work for you, that's not hard. So we said, why not lean into that? Consumers, like we said, are craving a more immersive travel experience, one that requires a lot more thought, a lot more care, something that you might need last-minute booking help, making sure that you don't lose out on some more revenue with your clients because they're booking quicker than you're able to. This summer, we saw a lot of agents lose out on revenue because they couldn't get back to their travelers quick enough, so they went on Hopper and booked it instead. But we want to help you eliminate that problem, make sure that you're able to book travel whenever you need to. And so why not deploy an army of people out there to help? Introducing Lucia and what we call Copilot. Like I said, it's a freelancer marketplace for the travel industry. Basically, as me and Sarah found as we ran an assistant service for the last 3.5 years, we apparently are really good at finding people that want to work in the industry. They just don't want to do it full time. Maybe they are a travel agent themselves, but they want to make some extra cash. Maybe they work at a hotel and they're really great at making dinner reservations, but they, again, want to make some money on the side. Hustle side jobs now are one of the most prevalent growths in the last year alone that people are taking on. So again, why not use them to help you grow your business? Now, Lucia, like I said, is a freelancer marketplace, but without talking about the features, I'll talk about how the ways it could solve your problems. On our platform, you're able to contact freelancers that have expertise in all different fields, from booking hotels, flights, dinner reservations, private aviation, you name it. And all of our freelancers on the marketplace can do all of that work for you, whether it's researching, booking, post-booking, or any sort of follow-up details, we like to call them. Last week, we had someone check 12 dinner reservations that they had on an upcoming Europe trip, and it turned out about 6 of them were done incorrectly. And these are all 5-star Virtuoso hotels that you know and love. They just are so busy, they're not able to track all of it. Again, that's where Copilot came into place. So we're able to help you hire on your own terms and not hire us when you don't want us. So when it's getting really busy, whether it's over the summer or what we like to call the September surge of what we're seeing right now in travel being booked, is you're able to use us when you're most busy, when it's most inconvenient, when you're on a FAM, when you're trying to hang out at your kid's soccer game, when you have a wedding anniversary that you're trying to celebrate, and you don't need to spend every beach vacation on your laptop. Everyone's nodding their heads now. Yes, exactly. Sarah and I have probably spent more than all of our vacations working the entire time. And now, from the convenience of your phone, you can do that yourself with someone else doing the work for you. So, quickly, just to jump over the workflow of actually how it works, whether you're on our mobile app or on our desktop, you're able to outsource a task. For example, booking a dinner reservation or having someone look into the best tour operator in Costa Rica. You're able to go on the platform, outsource it to someone for a small amount of money, and then they will be able to do all the research for you. At that point, when you've paid them and said, go find this, or book this, or do this for me, you're done. Hands off. Maybe they'll have a couple questions for you. Maybe they'll have a little follow-up. Hey, are you sure they don't want an aisle seat, et cetera, et cetera. But after that, you're able to have them do all the work for you. And that's what we're really leaning into here. Like I said, the future of work in hospitality is something that's completely changed over the last year, with gig economy work being something that we're really finding to become more apparent. We found that a lot of hotels, like I said, have lost a lot of full-time employees, but we've actually seen most of those people haven't actually left the industry. They've just changed the way that they've worked. We're expecting about 87 million freelancers by the year 2027, and 44% of freelancers today say they earn more freelancing than in their full-time jobs. So for all the travel agents out there that want a side hustle, follow me after. But also, you're able to gain access to a larger number of personal clients, larger access to more time, the ability to go generate more business for yourself, spend more time on marketing, solve those back-end tools that we were talking about on how to fix the DDS problem. You basically be able to go ahead and do all of the tasks that you really should be spending your time on. Generating more revenue, working on your marketing, driving new sales, closing more accounts, etc. If you're spending all of your time doing that, instead of invoicing and worrying about dinner reservations that should have been done correctly, maybe you'll see your bottom line increase. So if you're interested in learning more about Lucia, if you're interested in investing in Lucia, if you're interested in partnering with Lucia, it's something that, there's a lot of technology out there that'll be able to help transform the industry. But this is something that we're working on right now that we think will be able to truly transform the way that the industry works. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Questions?
And now we'll hear a couple questions from our panel, and anyone can go first.
So, sounds wonderful, especially after what we've been through this summer and what's going on right now. I think it's a great idea. How are you going to vet the people who are going to be helping us?
This is my favorite question.
You're welcome.
So, like I said, Sarah and I spent the last 3 years running a travel assistance service called TripKit. We spend most of that time vetting people, learning what makes a good assistant, what makes them a good concierge, and what makes the hiring process so important, benefits and the drawbacks. So we've spent a lot of our time perfecting that process. Part of it is our knowledge and picking up on what someone will do correctly, not do correctly, and learn their people, basically. But also we've formulated questions, tools of interviews, et cetera, to make sure that we're vetting every single supplier that comes through. They need to have experience in the industry, whether it's working at a hotel, a restaurant, a travel advisor, et cetera. And they need to be vetted by us in terms of personality, background check, et cetera.
Thank you.
Of course.
And are you going to have a rating system, too?
Oh, absolutely. It's already live. You can obviously, every concierge will be rated, not just on a scale of 1 to 5 for different things, but also feedback tools, mechanisms. And same way with a lot of different platforms like Airbnb, the ones that do better and do better work will get paid better over time.
I have 2 questions for you. I'm on site. So we bring a great amount, our value that we bring to the table is our knowledge, our know-how, and our network. So how do we then translate all this to the app and have the assistant do things for us? That's number 1. And the second question is, one of our biggest challenges, people don't read. No matter what we've tried, people don't read. Is there anything that you're working on that could possibly support us with this challenge?
Love that question as well. The first question being about knowledge and making sure that everyone actually sees the value of these on-sites to our partners, et cetera. That's actually something that we're looking right now with partnerships. So we've created a couple partnerships with DMCs, on-sites, et cetera, to make sure that we're able to communicate that value to the concierges themselves for that research phase, booking phase, et cetera. Anyone that's doing that work, though, should already be in the travel community and be hopefully aware of your company as well. So it's both making sure that we vet the right concierges and co-pilots, and also making sure that you partner with us so that we can bring the value and explain that to our co-pilots as well. And then, I'm sorry, what was your second question again?
How do we encourage people to read what they've booked?
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, so we actually on the platform as well have an itinerary platform. So we've made it so that whenever you're showing your itinerary to your clients, it also looks beautiful the way that we designed it so that it's easy to read and something for them simple to view, but it's much more condensed on the details you actually need to know. The mobile app itself is much more condensed so that they can just view what they need. But more importantly, when they're traveling, everything exports to your calendar, to text message, and to our digital messaging system so that when they're actually going somewhere, they need to know where they need to be and how to get there. That information's right at their fingertips, and they don't need to scroll 30 pages.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And next up, we have Gary from Luxury Travel, right? Hackers, perfect.
So my name is Gary Cohn, and I'm the co-founder of Luxury Travel Hackers. I'd like you all to think about your next vacation. What image comes into your head? And where did that image come from? Well, if you're like most people, you saw it on social media. Where content is king, yes, we've all heard the phrase, but what exactly does that mean? Well, after spending 25 years as a film producer in Hollywood and working with a team of avid travelers, I'm going to show you exactly what we think this means.
The Japanese have a saying. If you do not enter the tiger's cave, you will not catch its cub. What's holding you back from the adventure of a lifetime? When we travel, we learn something about ourselves. Are you ready to see through new eyes? Because the journey changes you, and you're never the same again.
How many people want to go to Japan? So there are hundreds and thousands of hours of travel content across social media that inspire people to make decisions about where they want to go and what they want to do. This is Tulum before social media. This is Tulum after social media. Yes, it's sad in many ways, but what it does is it tells us the power that content and influence have over the decision-making of consumers. So at Luxury Travel Hackers, we're leveraging content and influence to make vacations bookable via social media. And according to YouTube and Facebook, 86% of travelers choose their next vacation on social media, actually. And from there, they're spending an average of 12 to 17 hours of additional research on multiple websites to build a trip that was just presented to them. These influencers are driving a massive amount of traffic to a scattered and outdated booking process. So what if we were one click away from that image in our head and giving the ability to book from the point of inspiration? Consider how beneficial it would be to leverage this content and influence for booking. And so what we're building is we're bridging the gap between travel agents and influencers. The platform we're building gives travel advisors the opportunity to track social posts, repurpose them for their own digital efforts, and partner with content creators and amplify that content through paid media and our proprietary solutions. This technology makes it fast and easy for both agents and travelers. We're also in the process of onboarding over 300 influencers with a combination of over 80 million followers. Now, historically, that content has sat on social feeds without a way for influencers to monetize significantly. And so what we're doing is we're giving them a way to scale that content, to partner with agents, and to drive bookings in an industry that has left them relatively uninvolved. So let's take a look at some of the key trends that are fundamentally reshaping the industry. It's no secret that travel is skyrocketing right now. And what we're seeing is that people are wanting to deal with an expert post-COVID. Social media is changing from a marketing place to a distribution platform. And travel content is now the #1 reason people follow social media influencers at 62%. That is 15% higher than beauty and fashion, which dominates social e-commerce. And so we've tested this market to some fairly impressive numbers. We're currently seeing a lead gen cost that's 30 times lower than industry standard, landing us at an 8x ROAS. And that's just organic traffic, that's free. And so we have over 20,000 people in our sales funnel right now, and with 3 small test runs and only 17K in ad spend, we've done over 1.1 million in sales. I'm going to end with this. We see a future where finding and booking travel is as easy as ordering on Amazon. People don't want more choices, they want better ones. And they're looking to travel agents and advisors and influencers to guide them in that decision-making process. Travel advisors need to embrace the content and the technology to help them carry their jobs out more effectively. Content will continue to be king, and it will drive the industry into massive profits if we choose to use it properly. So if there's anything that I've said today that resonates with you, please come join us. We'd love to work with you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And Gary just showed us what it means to be an entrepreneur. You have few resources. Without the notes you planned on, you still make it through. So congratulations.
Where are my notes?
A few questions from our panel.
Gary, can you clarify for me the relationship that influencers and travel advisors will have with each other in your platform?
Yeah, so we really see that there's a missing partnership between the two. And so the platform that we're building actually is bringing them all under one roof. So it gives them an opportunity to partner with each other, and then for the influencer to drive the bookings and the agent to deal with the fulfillment side.
And how do the commercials of that look between, is there like a revenue share between the influencer and the travel advisor?
Yeah, there's a revenue share.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gary. Could you just specify for me, are we talking, this is completely aimed towards millennials? Is that correct?
I would say millennials and then Gen X as well. And then, there's some Gen Zs that are popping into our metrics, but we're mostly dealing with millennials, and then the lower side of Gen X is who we're seeing convert a lot with this platform.
And could you just explain to me how does the travel advisor then get the business, and how do they use their skills as travel advisors and what they're bringing to the table to support this?
So we're working on building a way where they're going to partner together. And so the influencer does the content creation, and then the advisor is doing, if I think I'm understanding the question, it was sort of similar to the other one, where the advisor is sort of dealing with the fulfillment side. And it's all done through the booking engine that we're building.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Does that answer?
Yeah, I'm challenged as to, because I understood it was a booking engine, which was kind of very quick ordering, like an order.
Yeah.
And then my query is, how then do we utilize the knowledge of the travel advisor for the traveler? You know, where does a travel advisor, where is the need for a travel advisor there? If
Well-
you're given the opportunity quite simply to click on, I want this, I want this, I want the
Well,
other.
like I said, you know, we're seeing that people want to deal with an expert post-COVID. So there's a customer service side. There's a, you know what I mean? Most influencers really, there are some that transfer and become travel agents, and they get their licensing, and they get their insurance, and they get all that stuff. Most of them do not. These are two completely separate jobs with two completely skill sets. And I think that if you have, in order to do the job really good and effectively, you have the influencer do that job really well, and you have the agent do that job really well. Otherwise, what ends up happening is you've got someone who's really good at influencing and not someone who's good at booking. They don't want to deal with the customer service side, you know, or a travel advisor who's really, really good at that and not really good on the social media side.
Okay,
And so that partnership's really important.
thank you.
I just have a comment. I think when you're talking about influencers and, you know, pictures and videos, it is form of art for me, at least, you know, because it's beautiful. They're putting something out that kind of stops you on your tracks, and that's where you want to travel. But when you're saying it should be as easy as whatever the comment you made, our job is never easy, and it takes time for us to plan and prepare, and it's form of art as well. So just a comment.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah,
you.
I mean, I think our goal is to sort of, with the technology, is to help remove some of those barriers so that you're only doing the important things, you know, making your job just a lot faster and smoother as an agent.
Okay, we're going to allow one really quick audience question,
Yeah.
please.
So I'm your audience.
Hi.
I'm 22 years old. I'm also a travel advisor. And to sum up these questions here, I think what we're looking for is, as an advisor, an influencer in like the management company or the hotel or the destination, what is the platform going to do to connect not only the consumer, like let's say I'm scrolling on Instagram, I see my favorite influencer post, it just went to the Maldives with a particular property. What is the flow from me as the consumer, seeing the influencer? Is this an ad that you guys have a platform that you're giving to the influencer and then connecting with a trusted advisor within a network? Or is this company platform connecting with the influencer and then after the advisor is just done? What is the market focus?
It was the more closer to the first one that you had mentioned. I mean, the user experience is, you know, the customer sees it either on a paid ad or through the influencer's feed, and then they're led to, you know, lead gen forums, landing pages, and place where then the agent takes over that sort of like, you know, communication that happens to and fulfillment of that booking. And the bookings are you know, we're working on making all of the properties, destinations, packages, and stuff like that all API integrated.
So where does your company come in from the integration between the influencer and the travel agent? Because we can all agree that we all want more business in some form or fashion. We all want to meet more people or better clientele. What value does your company bring to the advisor? I mean, not to the advisor, to the travel influencer, to where I could go to an influencer and say, hey, I'm a travel advisor, here's a couple properties that I want to market. What value is your company bringing to us as advisors or destinations?
Yeah, I'm trying to simplify the question.
Sure. I'll simplify it. What value would you be adding to to bring in more business, but to provide value to us as advisors to connect with influencers?
The roster that we have, you know, and the relationships that we have, and also, you know, the ability for us to curate a lot of that content and to build it, you know, automatically in a way where you're going to be able to sort of sell that.
Thank you very much.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, very quickly.
So what would be the difference between you and a tour operator if you're going to, you know, have prepackaged that?
Well, we have some prepackaged. We have a platform where people can build their own trips within our platform. Everything's a la carte, so there's a whole lot of options. We're not really, you know, we're not a DMC.
Thank you very much. That was great.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah,
Thank
okay.
you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Next, we have Alex from Deal Engine.
Well, hi everybody, I'm Alex, and we're Deal Engine. We're digitizing the traveler's journey. And yes, it sounds massive. So we decided to start where the pain was strongest, post-booking. And it turns out that post-booking was massive by itself, with airlines spending between 2 to 5% of the revenue in servicing post-booking alone. But that's just a number. Let's put a human aspect to that, right? So if you consider that around 10% of the tickets get either refunded or changed in any given year, you need an army of people to service that. So today in Virtuoso, there's like 5,000 people in this conference. Multiply that number times 20. That is the total number of people that refund and change tickets day in, day out, every day of the year solely. A massive pain. But we're at the luxury travel week at Virtuoso. What is luxury for you? If you Google it, it's all about the experience and comfort. There is no room for pain. So we decided to remove it, helping our clients, travel agencies, OTAs, and airlines, to bring the best experience they can to their own travelers. Leveraging artificial intelligence, more specifically natural language processing and expert systems, and combining them with APIs, we were able to take a process that used to take weeks and now takes seconds. Let me show you with a quick video how one of our products, the refund product, works.
We are Deal Engine, a software company that generates savings for the travel industry. How do we do it? One of our solutions is ARP. It allows you to quote, process, and track large numbers of refunds in seconds. You can use it in two ways, through APIs or through our user interface. Let's see an API example. Travelers select their trips directly on the airline's website and request a refund. Our artificial intelligence algorithms immediately reply with a quote detailing the total amount to be refunded. Travelers then accept or reject the quote, and that's it. What used to take weeks now takes seconds. Let's see a UI example. Here, agents can quote not one, but hundreds of refunds at a time. Our algorithms reply immediately with quotes. Agents then confirm or reject them. And ready! The work is done. If you want to know what happens behind the scenes, you can. But remember, there is no need since we already did the work for you. ARP streamlines your operation, reduces costs, and improves the traveler's experience. Digital transformation is here. Start now with Deal Engine.
Well, after seeing how it works, let me share with you a real case study with one of our Virtuoso clients. They're travel leaders. They're a 650 FTE agency that had the problem that needed to refund 15,000 tickets. Their plan was to hire 12 FTEs and go over all of them during the next 5 months. So the CFO called me and said, "Hey, Alex, can you help us?" And we did. We were able to process all of them in 2 days. And today, I'm happy to share that all of the refunds go through us. So what is Deal Engine? We're a software company that helps the biggest travel companies in the world streamline their post-booking. We work with over 90 clients all over the world, and something that I'm really proud of is that since inception, we have a 100% retention rate. That means that whoever at any point became our client is still our client today. And the reason behind that is, well, I think there are two. One is delivery. What we promise, we deliver. And the second one, and this is the one that our customers love the most, is our business model. A pay for success business model that it's 100% transaction-based, zero setup fees, zero maintenance fees. We only charge a fraction of the value that we generate. Lastly, it's worth mentioning that we're fully integrated with all of the main GDSs, Sabre, Amadeus, Travelport, and also with all of the main settlement systems, PSP and ARC, right? So, you've seen who we are, what we do, what's the impact, what is next? Well, we became the first company in the world that fully automated airline ticket refunds. We're now doing the exact same thing for changes. And then we want to leverage our technology to add on to the experience. We want to help you get your travelers what they want, when they want it, and how they want it. So imagine you have a passenger that's flying business, and then suddenly there's a last-minute first-class opening. We want him to get it. Imagine you have another passenger that wants to add an extra bag to their trip right before they're flying. We want her to get it. To sum it up, I'm Alex. We're Deal Engine. Join us. We want to help you help your travelers. Thank you.
All righty, a couple of questions.
I have two. What happens when I refuse the refund? I'm not happy with it.
You are a traveler, you're a travel agent, who are you?
Either. Sorry, right, I'm a DMC. But
You're a TMC. So how it works, the workflow is your passenger would call you and say, hey, I want a refund. So first you're like, oh, I need to calculate it. Instead of that, we just put the ticket and you can give them in the same call the exact amount. And you can say, hey, I don't want the refund anymore. And that's it. We only charge a fraction. We charge the quote.
No, sorry, my question probably I explained it incorrectly. If I'm not happy with the refund amount, what happens?
And you're the passenger?
Yeah.
Well, then you can, that it's the rules and conditions of the airline. You can then talk to your travel agent and maybe they can call the airline and get a specific waiver and you can use the waiver in the platform. But at the end of the day, the calculation is made with the specific rules of what you purchased with the airline. Does that answer the question?
Perfect. And my second question very quickly, who pays? Is it the user or is it the airline?
We're fully B2B. Our clients are the travel agencies. We do not ever engage with your travelers.
So the travel agents pay to
The
use
travel
the
agents
system.
pay to use the system and they can provide this. If you wanted to embed it in your webpage, you can, but also if you wanted, so we have really big clients that all of their call centers now have us. Instead of having like a lot of people, they need a few that they can service immediately. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
How difficult is to install your system? Is it a subscription? You said there's a fee, but is there a subscription to
There
the
is
agency?
no subscription, no setup fee. We only charge a fraction of whatever you transact on it. So imagine that you love the system and you're like, hey, Alex, I want to start. We sign everything and then you don't use us, there's no fee, right? And then how easy it is, we take 48 hours to plug it. It's a plug and play system as long as you have the credentials in Sabre or in Amadeus and so on. Once we receive the credentials from you, we take 48 hours.
And the training is pretty easy and support is there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank
Oh.
you. Please.
So it's a transaction fee depending on the volume. So it's usually around $4 per transaction, and it's split 2/3 of it goes to the quote and 1/3 to the fulfillment. So imagine, to our question, imagine you have a traveler that wants to refund a ticket, but then they see the amount they're getting back and they're like, oh, I don't want it, right? So we're not going to charge you for the whole transaction. You didn't actually refund the ticket. You only calculated the amount. So we would charge 2/3 of that $4, $2.67. And then if you actually fulfill it, we would charge only the $4 completely.
And that's the total fee.
That is the total thing. And if you stop using us, you don't pay anymore.
Thank you very much. Alrighty, and next we have Thatch. As I mentioned before, unfortunately they were our one COVID casualty, so they're coming in via video.
Hi, I'm Wes Askew, the CEO and co-founder of Thatch. Thatch is the world's first e-commerce platform and marketplace designed specifically for travel creators. We make it incredibly easy for creators around the world to set up an online travel shop where they can create and sell multimedia travel guides and custom itineraries. So what is a travel creator? For Thatch, a travel creator is anyone who has built an audience or reputation around their travel knowledge, skills, and lifestyle. Now, this is an intentionally broad definition because the creators we work with are all over the map. From YouTubers with millions of subscribers who visited every single country in the world, to TikTokers and Instagrammers just starting their travel careers. Travel creators are incredibly important to the modern travel economy. They have a collective audience of hundreds of millions of followers, and they drive billions in booking decisions and general travel spend, from where to go, to what to eat, to where to stay, and shop and play. But despite their massive economic impact on the travel sector, it's still incredibly difficult for them to capture any of the monetary value they generate. And that's because today, younger consumers get most of their inspiration and information from creators, and then turn around and spend their money with OTAs and other suppliers, leaving creators out of the transaction loop, but certainly not intentionally. That's because until now, creators haven't had a way to easily package and sell their travel knowledge in a modern and convenient format for consumers. On top of that, they simply don't have access to the types of commissions that are standard for pretty much everyone in this room. Take Martina, for example. Known as Memento Martina to her followers, Martina is a trained butcher and a serious foodie. She always knew that her local knowledge of Florence was valuable because of all the messages she would get asking for recommendations for an upcoming trip. In fact, she told us that she had thought for years about selling maps of her restaurant recommendations and tips, but she didn't know where to start, how to price her content, or even where those maps would live online. Today, with Thatch, Martina is earning hundreds of dollars a month by selling everything from her map of best Tuscan restaurants in Florence to custom-built guides tailored to the taste of individual clients. And she's able to do all this from her smartphone, saving important places and notes on the go, creating new multimedia guides and interactive maps, and of course, publishing content to her online store in just a few clicks. Martina is just one of hundreds of creators selling on Thatch. Collectively, Thatch creators have a total audience of over 35 million people around the world and have published thousands of guides and generated thousands in sales. And those are just a few of the tens of thousands of creators around the world, each of whom knows the value of their knowledge and skills, but simply doesn't know where to start. Which is why we've made it our mission to unlock the full earning potential of every travel creator on the planet. And in doing so, connect a global community of travelers and travel creators. Okay, so this is the part where I have to confess something. When we first started this business, our idea of a global community of travel creators didn't really include advisors. In fact, we thought we could empower travel creators to replace travel advisors, disrupting the entire travel advisor ecosystem. Think Uber and taxis. Everyone remembers that. But we've learned a lot since then. We realized that travel advisors are travel creators. Their audiences are their clients, and they definitely have built a reputation around their travel knowledge, skills, and lifestyle. But not only that, travel advisors share many of the same problems creators do. Like creators, advisors also feel they are giving away a little too much for free. Everyone's familiar with the infamous pick your brain phone call. And like creators, advisors also can't personally serve every potential client. There just aren't enough hours in the day. But now, thanks to Thatch, advisor income is no longer capped by the number of hours they work, and revenue that is being turned away for budget or capacity reasons can now be captured. So look, the bottom line is Thatch has a huge potential to change the face of consumer travel for good. And if we're going to build a global community of travelers and travel creators, we want travel advisors there to help us lead the way. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Wes. And I have to say, filming this video mid-COVID looks pretty good, right? And we are going to go for our final presenter, Sion, and we'll have Irving come present. Yes.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm excited to tell you all about Sion. So, at Sion, we simplify commissions. So we're a software that's main priority is a travel agent's priority. It's your money and getting you paid. I felt this problem firsthand. I didn't come from this industry. About 11 years ago, I went on my honeymoon, and I enjoyed planning it so much I decided to make a living off of it. So without any experience, I grew my business pretty quickly, and within a year, I was named Travel Agents 30 Under 30, and I was just so excited about my future in the industry. But it was also around that time that I started to realize that a lot of the commissions that I earned were not coming in. So I didn't overreact. I knew I was new to the industry. I was an outsider. I must be doing something wrong. So to my surprise, when I reached out to colleagues, not only did they share the same issues, but this has been going on for decades. And it wasn't just smaller agencies. Billion-dollar agencies with all the resources in the world shared the same issue. So, due to ignorance initially, I figured, this bothered me, but I figured it must be the supplier's fault, right? We're not getting paid, they're not paying commissions. But I kept a close eye on it over the course of the next few years. And the more I looked into it, I realized that this was primarily a data and technology problem. Yes, there are definitely a few bad players in the game, but primarily this was a data and technology issue. So I obviously couldn't do anything about it. I was focused on building a business, but I privately complained to friends and family and people in the industry until about 4 years ago, my co-founder Alphonse approached me and offered to help me get it off the ground. within a few months, I was doing it full time. I mean, the results for my business were great. My host agency ended up adopting it, and it sort of took a life of its own from there. So what are the problems exactly, or primarily, that Sion solves? So the first issue is data accuracy. You need good data coming into the system. And as we all know, so much changes after the time of booking. There's so many manual processes in getting data in the system, and it always looks differently. Sometimes you're making bookings online, via email, over the phone, through the GDS. You need to remember to invoice in all those instances, and the way everyone invoices could be different. You also have, now when you don't have accurate data in your system, it makes reconciliation so much tougher. As it is, getting payments is expensive and takes way too long, as we all know. But also, accounting teams are receiving payments from all over the world in so many different ways, thousands of payments a week or a month, and they're checks and wires and EFTs, consolidators. So it's extremely overwhelming. And when you don't have the right data, it affects your reconciliation. And then one of the most surprising things is commission chasing. What about those commissions that are left over? So to my surprise, there are a lot of agencies who write off commissions that don't come in as the cost of doing business. But the ones that do chase it, they don't have the tools to properly chase it. Where do you chase it? What do you do with these commissions? Who has the time to chase it? So what they do is they outsource it to third-party consolidators, whether it's on third-party commission collection companies, whether it's Onyx or CTS, and they're paying premium dollars just to receive money that they already earned. And not only that, it's a very manual process in working with these companies. So it's inefficient, and the results aren't so great, where ideally they should be able to control this process. And obviously, when you don't have accurate data, your reporting is off. So if you don't have accurate data and your data isn't presented to you in a meaningful way, you could have all the data in the world, but it's not going to help make good decisions for your business. So Sion addresses all these points. We understand that the first point of getting data in the system is so important. That's why we offer data normalization. So no matter the source, all the data looks the same when it comes into Sion. We're able to normalize those suppliers, whether it's manually entered through a different integration or through the GDS. And our GDS integration is one of a kind. I mean, there's no queue. The data comes in seamlessly, automatically, within a second, and it is live. So any changes, updates to the reservation, it comes into our system immediately. And then for reconciliation, obviously it helps to have more accurate data to reconcile properly. But our auto reconciliation, we built a proprietary algorithm that reconciles thousands of payments in a matter of seconds. So it really helps the next step, what Sion does. Just take a step back. Not only does it reconcile, it even shows the accounting teams in advance what they need to review from the file, because we, did a lot of research off of, even if you reconcile correctly, what do you need to be, what do you always need some manual intervention and some discrepancies? So we bring that to your attention without you needing to scan through the whole file. And then when it comes to commission chasing, we have such a clear picture of what is outstanding and what needs to be chased, where it needs to be chased, how to chase it, and our system can actually automatically chase those commissions for you. So, and you'll see some interesting stats on that in a second. And then lastly, Sion prides itself on how we present data. Sion makes sure that the data that's in our system is easily consumable, that it's interactive, so that it can help inform better business decisions. So here's where Sion is now. We're currently managing over $2 billion in revenue in Sion. We have 1,400 daily active users on our system with a 95% retention rate. So our users love our system. But the results have been amazing. In the last 3 years, we've helped our agents recover over $20 million in delinquent commissions. So those are commissions that were already past due. And that's 75% of any commissions on our system that get to that past due status, if they're chased through our system, get recovered. And we're saving back office and accounting teams up to 10 hours of work per week. So what does our industry look like when Sion accomplishes its mission? Well, first off, it's efficiency. Everyone's on the same page, where whether you're an agent, an agency, or a supplier, everyone has access to one version of the truth that's transparent to everyone. Payments, you're going to receive all the money you earn then quickly. So without any intervention from you. So just seamlessly that it would come in. And then lastly is the data. We want you to be able to have accurate data so that you could do forecasting and leverage that data to make better business decisions as you grow your business going forward. And ultimately, we just want travel agents to be able to focus on what they should be focusing on, which is selling travel. Thank you.
Thank you. And our last set of questions.
I just wanted to ask, what do you think are the most important differentiators for you from competitors in the space?
Well, I think a lot of it came from my background in using those systems first. So a few that come to my mind is, first off, understanding that, again, agents want to sell travel. So being able to make the process of needing to invoice or whatever your agencies require as simple as possible, right? So we want to make it not cumbersome, where it's easy, it does, and it automates, to steal Matthew's line, to automate the predictable. So we want your data coming in the system, and we want you getting paid. We believe in full transparency. So there's no need as an agent to need to reach out to your back office or to reach out to anyone. Anything that pertains to your bookings, you can see it. Getting your data in the system is as easy and simple as possible, and ultimately just giving you a clear visibility on your money, both where you stand with it and also making sure that you get paid. So it's really just listening to our agents and knowing, what their pain points are, which we've done to this point.
What about the CRM component of the software? And also, is it compatible with QuickBooks, for example?
So we're actually working on a QuickBooks integration in Q4 this year. I won't say who, we might have an agency in the audience that's going to help us with that. And from the CRM component, there is like a limit to where we go. So we do have some basic CRM features that are very intuitive, but it might not be robust as a full CRM. And that's intentional because we want to focus on your money. That's what we specialize in, and we want to, it keeps moving sometimes, but we like to draw a line in the sand. I think that's one of the biggest, challenges of a startup is, how much you listen to your customers, as long as it doesn't, take you away from what you got into this for. And, we're getting into the payment space now to be able to start processing payments, and we've always been about commissions. So that's really where we're going and where we've always been going. But I do believe that the CRM features we have are very useful, but I don't think that, that is our ultimate vision there. We rather, connect with others that might be, as passionate about that as we are with commissions.
Sounds wonderful. That was also my question. What is your next step? What are you finding today that you need to correct or that you have an opportunity to integrate into the system tomorrow?
So it's taken us some time, but now we're really speaking to agencies more on that enterprise level. So being able to, we just finalized the round of funding now. So we're really looking to scale to be able to have Sion operate even on a larger scale. And for commission, there's two things I would say. One is the commission chasing, that to really specialize in knowing exactly where commissions need to be chased so that it's not on the user or the advisor, where we really own that space. And then it's starting to process those payments. Where right now we've helped our agencies just in automation of follow-up without touching the money. But from day one, that's always been our goal. But we wanted to position ourselves in the best position where people couldn't say no and not start with the processing of payments. Because even though it's complex, I would say that the real problem that we're solving is a data problem. That's sort of the holy grail, and getting everyone on the same page.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all of our presenters, all of our speakers, but most of all, thank you for those of you who joined us.